So here's me listening to Hadaway, trying to frame something as some sort of tweet, trying to get 80s, 90s, 2000s pop cultural zeitgeist, technological zeitgeist into your fucking mainline, hit it sideways, some sort of prefigured disfiguration to get with the lingo of the kids, or the kids today. I'm a 20-year-old. I'm talking those 14-year-olds. They're cooler than the 13-year-olds. Much cooler. And they know their shit. You know, once you get to your 20s, you're practically at the end of your life. You can't do anything after them. You're just effectless. There's a desiccation that happens because you're just on the decline since then. You're deteriorating because you recognize that you can actually die. That's my theory. And it really explains a lot that people approach these positions with the sort of old statesman maturity of anybody else because they want that status. Because status is no longer something that's unattainable. Neither is it something that is mockable. It's almost essential that you have some degree of status, that you kind of appear, and that like one-hit wonders don't really factor anymore. You can't have these sort of splinter acts because there's this many splinter acts the other way, because there's this whole media apparatus and corporate apparatus replacing itself after it goes down. And it's really disheartening in a way. But also, as long as you have people praising this, you also have the Gothic Lolitas. And those Gothic Lolitas figure in this way. They figure such that you watch Tsukuyomi Moon Phase and you say, these are the people around us. This is the plots around us. This is a slice of life that shows me a devastated romance between someone who looks 12 and someone who looks like 24. You know, one of these seeming fail sons just striving to empathize with someone or another. Kind of a strange dialogue happening. Granted that there's such an antisocial assumption, then it's suddenly that, oh, I need to protect my daughter. Of course, she's also probably a paleo loli, which means that she's older than she looks, aka just a vampire. Couldn't you understand? She's equally fucked as he is, but in the way of, you know, fucked over. He might be a bit like, he has his incentives sort of mixed up a bit. I mean, he is her slave, to be fair. But imagine being like 12, 13, 14 forever. I mean, I guess it could work. Maybe that works better. That's why we need to lower the voting age to like 6 years old. We need to make it so low it's like babies gain sentience to sort of throw a gavel at the injustice of it all. Be like, yeah, no! Like, you know, it's an age dominance of old people, but it's especially notable that you have several people, given the like youth turnout is like 0%, why not give it to like younger people even? They might turn out more. And generally, why do we think that adults are smarter than kids? Why do you think that like it doesn't sort of fall off over time? Why do you think that it accrues? Because sure, it does accrue in some sort of like way of life things, but I think largely a democratic mindset, sure, it factors a lot of that stuff. But for one, letting the mentally ill, letting prisoners vote, which way does it go in particular? Do you get criminals on your side? Do you think criminals have good instincts or bad instincts? How does that level out? You have to. I think that's actually a more interesting frame if you let like terrorists vote, because we already think of it like, oh, the other party is full of bad people. Why not de-essentialize that and make it obvious, like, oh yeah, there's bad people on each side. There's plenty of current people are criminals, but we shouldn't treat them like, oh yeah, everyone is like a possible criminal. No, like, criminal is sort of a stigma that you put on people that is seemingly like permanent from the word go, and it doesn't make sense. Criminal, 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 criminy cricket. I tried to fix it. Criminy cricket. I'm at a racket rally, racket Ralph rally. I'm like the glitch. You see that this is why I don't get it, because it's like anything well adjusted is, why do you need a democracy anyway? If you're not actually, are you looking for tweaks, or are you looking for something decisive? Where does democracy actually factor in that way? And that's why it's bizarre when people say like, oh yeah, democracy shouldn't really factor. I kind of get why at that point you can just be like, oh yeah, we should just have totalitarianism because fuck it. Because what degree of involvement would the government actually have? And then by that point, it's inevitable that you'll have people being like, oh, we should have smaller government, which is oftentimes just undemocratic. Voter suppression, election fraud, that's smaller government. Our judicial system, we don't elect any of the judges. Why don't we just get rid of the 17th Amendment? No senators elected. Why don't we maybe like shrink the all the legislatures to maybe like 10 people? Why don't we make like all cities like not exist anymore? Why don't we just simplify it down? Smaller government, more simplified. It's this weird dogmatic thing that I understand once it's like, oh yeah, just feudalism, that's what we need. We need feudalism. No representative governments. They're not representative. They're just vassals and shit. And so, like, yeah, mayoralities and all this stuff who have a certain amount of power, but nobody cares about that. I wonder how much power the president has, because it's sort of like a dam, right? In that you can like place it right there, but it doesn't immediately solve the problems, and it also kind of disrupts stuff around them. But I don't think this is an authoritarian leaning per se, because just having that much power and being able to levy that much power unilaterally, I don't think that makes you authoritarian. It's authoritarian to do some particular things involving the macroeconomy of democratic decisions, but not to do like a bunch of things in a sort of systemically dynamic way. I'm listening to Hadaway. So that's why Gothic Lolita is the aesthetic of today. That's why Gothic Lolitas are in charge. Just darkness and cynicism, and like, who cares? That's good. That's neutral at the very worst. thing. We can't like blame that. It's sort of fucking stupid. But you can equally be like, we need to get people engaged, and that's just a tone deaf approach to this sort of alienated mass of people who just don't give a fuck. You know, at a certain point, how far can you go with this message of inclusivity until you're just fucking tone deaf? Until you're just like, who fucking cares about you? And at that point, it's like, you know, these people, they're just sort of amorphous blobs of indeterminate positivity towards whatever sort of transactional, purely symbolic end. This is all symbols, I'm saying too. I want to emphasize that too. I want to emphasize that this is like Network, the movie Network, and that I'm saying this to you so you listen. You need to get mad. I don't care. I don't care particularly. I like to have it sort of leveled out so that I put across the political message, but it's also ubiquitous. Or at least as ubiquitous as it could be for like an audience that would want either politically or in a certain range of apolitically, because apolitics are bigger people group than political people, put it as sort of neutral and smoothed out. How do you do that? With the variation too, it's sort of a fugue state you end up in. Like, it's sort of wings. Like, if I were a bird, then I imagine I have wings, and I talk to my friends who are like, yeah, go you! But they're not, my arms aren't wings because other people have arms. That's simple mathematics. You add the people, but you can add the arms, but you can't subtract the bodies. Can't subtract the bodies. Can't have arms without bodies. And that's a single mistake that people make. They look at the arms. They advocate for arms. Your hands can do this work. Your hands. But you're fetishizing my hands. My hands aren't yours. My hands are my hands. And it's sort of, you know, Nicholas Winding Refn. It's a message of castration in the end that they push on you. Because it's just a milquetoast sort of work with us. It's the inversion Kennedy did to social democracy of FDR. That is, don't think of what you can, your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Which is the big government that I understand being against, because fuck that. You don't do stuff for your country. It's a mixed sort of message of nation versus country. Like patriotism makes sense in a lot of ways. America is this weird syncretism that, you know, I like. But the nation, you know, I can be totally against, because the nation doesn't represent the people. The nation is a corporation. The nation is unbeholden to people. It has a deep state. It has its own sort of law and legal system and accountability to disclosure and stuff that you know. How can you like not be cynical? It's just like anyone advocating for like a normal Democrat is someone advocating for like, you know, orange juice but with water. But I can add water in the first place is the idea. I can add water to the orange juice I already have. But they say, well, no, but we're stealing the water from you. So you getting the water will actually cost more. But the whole question you need to ask is, how long do I want to base a dependency on their supply of the water. It's an upload spree, an upload thing. Will it redouble or will it be a B? Ever heard of Megan Thee Stallion? Ever heard of Elizabeth Warren? Ever heard of Andrew Cuomo adopting martial law in New York because of coronavirus? Sounds cool. Ah, hell yeah! So much exhaustion. Will it be a problem? So much exhaustion. I'm always on YouTube. This is me on YouTube 2 times over. I'm on YouTube and you're on YouTube. Me on the screen. Hello, me on the screen. This is the subject of discombobulation. This is the Endgame, Avengers Endgame. I've been going on Twitter and shit. It's all bullshit. Anything knowing shit is bullshit. You should just go on instinct. Just go arms flailing. Not about the way you feel, but the way you feel, you know? It's not important how you feel, just like that you feel. So, how you feel is something that will be treaded out by your pure performance. That's what I believe. Some guy on the internet of like, I don't know, 30 million different YouTube accounts, 30 million, 60 million, around that amount, 30 million YouTube accounts, 20 million Twitter accounts, a lot of them duplicates, a lot of them addressing like Spider-Man and Elsa, a lot of them sellouts, but a lot of them just like me. But nobody gives a fuck. I understand that. It's fucking boring. This fucking bullshit is boring. How long can you go over the politics of the politics of the politics? It's not interesting. It's boring, frankly. And I understand just following like Donald Trump. You know, if there's one thing I can say, it's that Donald Trump is a bit more entertaining than Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders needs to opt his entertainment game. I'm obviously Bernie 2020, but Bernie Sanders, you need to get a more I don't know. I feel conflicted on the fact because I'm also anti-entertainment. But having principles, wrong, right there, wrong. You should go by not the word of law, but the spirit of the law is the most important thing. Most important thing. And I'm listening to the Cockcast with that's a good the Cockcast right now. And you can listen to it too if I upload this in time, which it might take, I don't know, like 20 minutes. I'll time it myself. But I'm trying to get it to 20 minutes because I'm showing off. And I can just talk consistently, and that makes it a video, I guess. Wow. Wow. Namaste. Let's kill some Muslims. Narendra Modi for president. Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah. Narendra Modi for president. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Narendra Modi for president.
Jair Bolsonaro for president. Viktor Orban for president. Let's get some right wing. Let's get some centrists. Let's get everyone in there. Let's get the fucking party. Let's get us subscribe to the channel. Let's get us subscribe to me, and I'll become a Adolf Hitler fan, the best fan on the internet. Yeah, and I'll keep doing my fist like that, and this will be a big new Nazi symbol. MSNBC, I'm coming for you. I'm coming.